Starting your Amazon FBA business can be a very daunting task. There's a lot of aspects of this business that are very easy to get caught up on. And in the beginning, it seems like a very simple business model, but as you get further and further into it, you start to see some of the intricacies that really complicate the business model. So for all of you that are just getting into this business or have maybe been into it for a little bit, but need a little extra help getting going, looking back over the last 2 years of my Amazon FBA business, I put together the top 10 tips that I wish I would have known back then that I know now, that I feel like would put any new seller on a launch pad to being successful so much faster. So jumping right into it, the first tip is to use software tools. Any video you watch of any guru or any course creator on Amazon FBA, or even just YouTube in general, will tell you that in order to do accurate product research and analytics, you do need some software tools. There's really no way around it. Whether you just want to start using free software tools or if you want to jump into some professional software tools, they really kind of are a necessity in this business to be able to see the success that you want to see and to be able to scale an actual business. Sure, you could get lucky, but when you're dealing with your actual money and investing into a business, you want to kind of remove the aspect of luck as much as possible. And analytic tools allow you to do that. If you're interested, I just started working with Helium 10. I've been using Helium 10 for a long time, since the very beginning of my Amazon FBA business. They were the tool that my coach recommended to me. I've tried Jungle Scout and some of these other FBA analytic tools, and they are good and they do work. But for me, as far as usability, customer experience, and just the suite of tools that they have in general, Helium 10 for me is by far and away the best one to use. And I do have a discount for you if you are interested in signing up with Helium 10. I'll leave that down in the description below, but go ahead, use that link, get your discount, get started with Helium 10. All right, second and third kind of run together. This is to pick high ticket products and to make sure that you're differentiating with those products. There's a couple reasons for this. If you are going for those lower ticket items, they're much easier to get knocked off. They're a lot harder to differentiate, and profit margins typically are very, very slim on those. So when you include, cost of goods, shipping, marketing costs, PPC, your margin that was already razor thin becomes even slimmer, which makes it very hard to run a profitable business that way. So look for those higher ticket items to where you can actually create a meaningful differentiating factor to that product. The best way to go about this is to think about the types of things that you're passionate about, whether it's sports or music or technology or anything. Focus on a niche that you're passionate about and identify a need that's not being served within that market. It doesn't have to be this huge grandiose change. You don't need to open a mold for a product or even have necessarily anything that needs to be patented, but just think about the products that exist in that market and what you wish could be different about those products, or any subtle changes, even if it's just aesthetically or a color change or a texture change or anything like that, that you can upgrade on those products and then make that upgrade, implement it into a product and sell that. But again, use those analytic tools to make sure there's a need in that market. By picking those higher ticket products, you're going to leave yourself way more room for margin so that you can stay profitable even after your expenses. Number 4 is to focus on marketing. Marketing, particularly PPC, can bleed your profit margins dry if you're not careful. You really do need to take the time to understand how to use PPC effectively to be able to, first and foremost, rank your product and get it seen by your customers, but also to utilize the data that you are getting from sales and clicks and impression. This can be a very overwhelming topic. There is so much that goes into PPC. It's a skill set in and of itself. Companies hire positions specifically for this type of thing, but don't get overwhelmed. Start out slow, start out simple, and just try to make it as least complicated as possible. If, however, you are one of those people that just don't want to worry about this, you want to leave it to the professionals, my agency Seller 360 works with clients just like you to run their PPC campaigns for them. We have an insane amount of experience running profitable PPC campaigns, and we know exactly what type of campaigns to run if you're at the beginning of your product lifespan or if you have some data behind you. We specialize in bringing those ACoS down, the ROAS up, and increase sales velocity through PPC advertising. Again, it's not for everyone. You can start out slow, but if you have the means to invest in something like that, it is a kind of way to jumpstart your product and get some sales going and really optimize your PPC professionally. I'll leave the link down below again for that as well, because I would love to work with you if you're interested. Number 5, this one is to get brand registered. If you ask me, I feel like Amazon is moving way more towards actual legitimate brands on Amazon. For those of you that don't know, you can launch a product and not be brand registered. You will still need to provide evidence that that is your brand. It needs to have a unique name. It can't copy any other brand names on Amazon or infringe upon anything like that. So you will need a unique name. If you have a unique name and you have the UPC code or the GTIN number for that product, you are able to get that product approved on Amazon. But then once you have a product that you're taking serious and you're wanting to build a brand off of, it's very important to get brand registered. You can do that through the IP Accelerator program on Amazon. I've done that twice now with 2 brands, and it's a very quick process. It takes about anywhere from like $1,000 to $1,500 to use them, because you are working with an agency to get a trademark for your brand. But once you secure that trademark, and the IP Accelerator program makes it very simple, but once you get that trademark, then you're able to register your brand on Amazon, and it unlocks a plethora of benefits, and it unlocks a whole suite of benefits that you can use that other sellers cannot, that just puts you farther beyond the competition. You can run video ads, you can respond to customer reviews, you can build out your storefront, you can run A+ content, and really build out your brand and legitimize it on Amazon. So that when a customer comes across your product, which is brand registered, versus somebody who's not, the legitimacy factor weighs in a bunch there, and they're going to go with your product. Number 6, this one is personal to myself. Not a lot of people suggest this, but I have found it so beneficial for my business, and that is to find a sourcing agent. Most people will say, yeah, just hop on Alibaba and try to find that product and find a manufacturer. But here's been my experience. I have done that. I found products through Alibaba. I've sourced them through these manufacturers. But the problem is when I reach out to them, number 1, the language barrier can be tough. Most of them do know English and they are able to communicate with you, but it's not a perfect line of communication. Second, if you don't think there are manufacturers that know that you're brand new to this space, you are fooling yourself. Some of them can be like wolves, and they are just chomping at the bit to take advantage of a new seller who doesn't understand negotiation tactics, who doesn't understand supply chain or manufacturing in general, and they are just looking for opportunities to nickel and dime you and to price gouge you in any way that they can. Don't take offense to it. That's business, and it can be frustrating. However, I've noticed that when using a sourcing agent, he kind of acts as the middleman between me and this manufacturer. He's kind of on my side with the experience and the knowledge of how to get me the best price for each product that I'm looking for, where to source it so I'm getting the best manufacturers, and he handles all the communication. So even if I'm working with like 2 or 3 or 4 products, I have one point of contact, and that is my sourcing agent. And in exchange for the hours of work that he saves you and all the communication and all the confusion, they will take a small percentage fee of your bulk order. But for me, it's such a small price to pay for the amount of work that they put in and the time and effort that they save you. I would gladly pay it every time. I don't know if I'll ever go back to not using a sourcing agent. And on top of that, I've loved using a sourcing agent so much that my agency Seller 360 is working right now on a way to streamline using a sourcing agent for your business. So stay tuned for that, and I'll keep you updated on when we have more information on that. I'm very, very excited about it. Number 7 is to focus on your profit and loss. If this requires you to get some profit tracking software, then so be it. Helium 10 does have profits integrated into it, which is another reason I like it. It's kind of an all-in-one suite of software tools, but it's important to be able to focus on your P&Ls, aka your profit and loss. It's so easy to just try to launch a product and be like, okay, whatever it costs, let's just get this product out. Let's launch PPC ads for it. But you can start to go in the red really fast if you're not paying attention to what's going in versus what's coming out. And a good profit software is very useful for something like that. Again, I think Helium 10's profit analytics software is very, very good. Helps me keep track of the cost of goods, the shipping, the sales, the returns, all profit analytics for all my products. But if you want to put the effort forth to do it manually, you're able to do that as well. And on top of that, it's always good to have a business credit card and some type of business bank account so that you don't get finances mixed up with your own personal accounts. And for that, I use things like Novo as my business bank account and a software like Wave to keep track of all my expenses and everything I need financially to run my business. Number 8, and this kind of matches up with number 2 and 3, but it's to focus way less on the product and to focus more on the brand. Obviously, you need a good product that has a market, and a lot of people will tell you find products with low competition and high search volume. And yes, you can do that, but to me, that feels like Amazon FBA of like 2 years ago. I really feel like you can succeed in any market as long as you're bringing something unique and different to the table that the customer wants. If you can focus on that and build a brand around it, I think that's how you see a lot of success these days, particularly in FBA. I'm telling you, we are on the forefront of Amazon just starting to push these brands. You can see it in everything Amazon's doing. They're putting more of a focus on branding. They want legitimate brands on their website. And so for all the people saying, yeah, Amazon FBA is too saturated. Yes, it is saturated with mediocre sellers selling one-off products who are not branding anything and trying to build a business. If you are willing to make the effort to actually build out a brand, in my opinion, you're one of the early adopters because this is the way Amazon is going. And if you want to be the first ones to do it, now is the time to do it. Number 9, I get asked this all the time. Do you have a coach? Do you use the coach? Is it worth it? For me, the answer is yes, yes, and yes. Like I say, I don't personally have my own course. I don't quite feel qualified to do that yet, but I have loved the course that I'm in. Trevin Peterson is my coach. I've used his course since the beginning now, and I truly feel like he has the most up-to-date and applicable course on Amazon FBA on the internet right now. And I say that because he actually is still in the business on the daily. You can check his channel. He's still making YouTube videos about it. He still talks about how his personal Amazon FBA business is doing. And on top of the course being updated frequently, he is still doing weekly live calls where all the students can jump on, talk to him personally, talk to the other students, and really talk about what the business is doing, how Amazon FBA is changing, and what we can do to continue to be successful in the business. It's a great community he's built, and I've really enjoyed being a part of it, so much so that I got my own link for it. I will leave that down in the description below as well if you're interested in checking out his course and really getting a jump start on your Amazon FBA business, skipping all the hurdles that people struggle with in the beginning and using somebody who's been successful as a launch pad to be successful in the business. I hope to see you in that course and on the calls. But before you even do that, head over to his YouTube channel and see if you vibe with him yourself. Okay, number 10, this is the last tip. Hopefully it doesn't come across too corny, but it's just to make sure that you enjoy the business. If you start to get into it and you don't really feel like you're having a ton of fun doing it, I would say probably don't even waste your time. You don't want to wake up doing this every day if you don't enjoy it. Because yes, it has the ability to be somewhat passive down the road if you're willing to put in the work, but I promise you, you won't see the success that you're looking for unless you at least enjoy the majority of the aspects of the business. You don't have to love everything about it. You don't have to love PPC. You don't have to love the product research phase, but there has to be enough aspects of the business that you wake up excited about doing that gets you motivated to do it. Maybe it's just the fact that you like working for yourself. Maybe you like e-commerce. Maybe you like branding and marketing. Maybe you like the product research phase. I personally love the idea of finding these products, building a brand, doing the marketing, and bringing something unique to the customer that they haven't seen before. So figure out why you like doing it. Don't do it for the money because you won't ever see it if that's the reason. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I truly do love making these videos. I hope that you're getting value out of them. Please leave a like on the video if it has provided value, and consider subscribing if you're interested in seeing more of my content. But until then, good luck in the e-commerce space. I'll see you out there.